The universe was created on this interdependence, on this coexistence, on this respect, gratitude, recognition of what is being done for you. It was never created in the spirit of what can I get, what can I take, what is in it for me. And all this, what is in it for me and I, me, myself, this is all the human species, which are the only species that were actually given the freedom of free will, the ability to think, the ability to act, the ability to do. And look at how beautifully we've screwed it up. We brought everything to the path of selfishness, we brought everything down. I do have a question. After all these sessions that we have done, has anybody been able to inculcate any part of it into their day-to-day lives, even a minuscule part? Answer, guys. Unmute yourselves. Please tell me, has anybody been able to inculcate even a teeny tiny portion into their lives? And if you've been able to inculcate it, how have you been able to inculcate it? Vishal, you were nodding your head saying that you did.
I think this whole concept of being connected to everything else, I have this awareness. It's off and on. It's not like I'm aware of it all the time, but very often over the last few weeks, I have, kind of looked at things from that angle, maybe before or after the event, and it has helped my thoughts to kind of stabilize. You know what I mean? I may act a little selfish at a moment, and then it falls in place that okay, fine, you are that also, and more. So yes, I think that's something which one needs to practice, and it comes in. So it's happening. It's not something new, but then awareness is about reminding yourself again and again and again that this is the line that you need to choose when you are thinking, and it comes into action.
Has anybody been able to incorporate the basic concept of duality of the real and the unreal? Because that is the fundamental basis. The recognition of the real, the unreal, the recognition of the duality that plays in our lives, and being able to step away from that duality to actually move towards a higher evolution, a higher sense of singularity. Has anybody even tried to do that?
So I've been kind of been more aware of all the drama and the story that goes around and that I'm experiencing or being part of. And then I try to find the duality in it. And then I try to further dissect and figure out how it should be or it should not be dealt with, or nothing should be done about it. It is what it is. Just accept it the way it is. But I think I don't know if I'm incorporating it the way you've asked us just now, but I'm doing a lot of mental exercise where I'm aware around certain things that you've mentioned in the discourse, and I'm trying to understand it my way.
You know, the fundamental change that I find happening is that, yes, I understood the duality, I understood the singularity. I mean, all this is knowledge that was always there. Maybe right now I'm at a age in my life where it is very easy for me to distance. What I have been noticing is so many times over the last, like a wedding is a beautiful place to really see, because in a wedding there are so much of ups and downs. And I realized that yes, I was at that moment of time reacting, but the reaction was internal, it was not external. In even 1% of the reaction was not external. So that was a huge change where the reaction was only internal, it never got expressed. And within a very short period, it came to a point of not my karma, not something I need to deal with. That total absolute peace of mind where it did not affect, because the reality of the real and the unreal. So to me, it just became it's a film that I was watching, maybe watching it even as a participant, but it was just something I was watching. I was not really involved in it. And that is such a beautiful place to come from, because your equilibrium never gets disturbed. So, this is what I was trying to say, guys, that it's not just about listening. All our text, the Vedic text, the Upanishads, the Puranas, so any form of scriptures or any kind of teachings that we have, they are meant to absorb, take in, introspect, and help us evolve. And if we don't evolve from there, then all we are doing is sitting in a classroom taking notes. And once you exit the classroom, it's out. None of our texts, none of our teachings are a prescribed way. They're just a lot of paths that are opening to you, which path to follow, which doctrine to adopt, how to formulate your own doctrine or your own methodology. That's all left to you. But can only be done when we actually put in a bit of time introspecting. So, a very easy method of introspection is when every time pull out, I'm not saying on a daily basis, but maybe once a week, pull out 1 hour. Sit down with yourself for that 1 hour and review incidents that have happened over that week. Pick one incident which has affected you, which has bothered you. Now go down and start introspecting on that incident, not from the perspective of what the other person said, what the other person did, how somebody else behaved. Introspect with it to you. What was it in you that bothered? Why did it bother you? How did it bother you? What was the reaction that came out of that bothering? How it affected you? How long it affected you? Then try and understand the duality of what was happening. What was the push and the pull? And recreate the same scene with you as a third party observer, not really as a part of it, and see could you have dealt with it a little differently. This is why we learn what we learn, to make our lives. It is, we are not learning everything that we all become Brahmins, or we become sages, or we become so realized that we can take sannyas, or we can do all of that. No, we are learning all of this so that we can actually adapt it to our day to day life to make the quality of our life that much better. So, this is a simple exercise, guys. Try it and see. It's worked for me my entire life. This is not something I've done today or learned it yesterday. I literally have spent a better part of my life like this, maybe from as early as 21, 22. This is my method and has been my method of dealing with situations, which is why I don't think there's ever been a time in my life when I have had a why me or a poor me or oh my god, mere saath kyun hota hai moments in my life. I've never had them. And believe you me, I'm the happier for not having them.